So with the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie already having appeared in some parts of the world, we have obviously been blessed or cursed with spoilers and a full synopsis of the movie with many referral outlets if you guys want to check them out for yourself. But I know a lot of you probably already saw Kenzaro's stream, and if you have seen his stream or you already know what's going to happen in the movie, feel free to leave your thoughts down below in the comments throughout the video. Now before we do officially get started, if you do not want to get spoiled at all for the Super movie, leave now. I don't know why you clicked the video in the first place, but I'll give anyone who doesn't want spoilers a second to leave. Alright, now that everybody who doesn't want to be spoiled is gone, let's get started. So, first, frequently asked questions that need answers. Does Gohan appear in the movie? Unfortunately, it's looking like there's not going to be an appearance from Gohan whatsoever in the movie. I'm sorry about that, guys. I know you hate it. I hate it personally, but I mean, I guess it just is what it is. Second question, what role will Beerus and Whis play in the movie? We'll talk about Whis a little bit later, but Beerus, however, will apparently be in charge of babysitting Bra, who is still very young in the midst of everything going on with the Saiyans at this time. So one thing that we can confirm right away is that Broly definitely is not evil, as we already knew. So the movie begins with the events of Dragon Ball Minute. With that being said, of course, we already knew that, and from what information has been gathered, we also know that King Vegeta is the reason that Broly survived the destruction of planet Vegeta in the first place. One thing that's kind of being debated at this moment, however, is why exactly did Broly get sent away? This hasn't been confirmed yet. For all I know, by the time you guys see this video, I don't know what's going to be confirmed at that point, but all we can do right now is speculate at this moment. From my reasoning, my personal reasoning, it could either be because he legitimately wanted to save Broly from Frieza, or he could have possibly feared Broly's strength and wanted to dispel him. Now, whatever the reason is, Paragus has grown to hate the Saiyans as a whole, but we'll come back to that. Obviously, we know that Bardock and Gine have sent off Goku, and when Broly gets sent off by King Vegeta, Paragus decides to follow him. Now, a little tidbit here, it isn't really that relevant to the rest of the stuff we're going to be talking about, but Broly and Vegeta are around the same age, with Goku being a little bit younger than the two. Now, since Broly and Paragus are both nowhere near planet Vegeta when all of that stuff takes place, this would explain how they survived their own extinction. One thing that I'm happy they didn't change was the rebellion by Bardock. I'm not really sure if this version of Bardock is, well, I guess basically psychic, but he does have his final stand against Frieza with his supernova, and apparently he actually holds off the supernova momentarily. Now, I don't want to really go into that. I'm not really too sure how I feel about that, but I mean, the more action the better, I guess, right? Because at the end of the day, most of us are here for the fights and the animation anyway. Now, how does Frieza find Broly in the first place? Well, the two new Frieza soldiers that we've been seeing a lot of in screenshots and trailers and everything are named, I'm probably gonna butcher this, but Chile and Lemu. And I know that was probably awful, but we're moving on. So they're the first ones to find Broly and Paragus, and they go on to inform Frieza that they found new Saiyans. Once Frieza comes in contact with Broly and Paragus, he states that he actually remembers Paragus from the day he came to destroy planet Vegeta. But obviously Broly and Paragus were exiled beforehand, so they in turn have no idea what happened to the other Saiyans or their home planet. This would make the cooperation of these two with Frieza a lot easier to grasp, because since they don't know that Frieza caused the extinction of their entire race, they can still preserve their hate for Vegeta and the other Saiyans, and inevitably Frieza brings them to Earth with him because he tells Paragus that he knows where Prince Vegeta is. Now, one thing that's important to remember is that at this point, Paragus is still loyal to Frieza because, like I said previously, he doesn't know anything that happened with planet Vegeta outside of, the time that they were exiled, so Frieza convincing him to come along isn't really too much of an issue. So Frieza's main reason for coming to Earth in the first place is, of course, the Dragon Balls, obviously, and when they arrive, they're met by Goku and Vegeta. And since Paragus does fester this hatred for the Saiyans, he tells Broly to attack them. Broly fights Vegeta first, of course, and this is where we see Vegeta go Super Saiyan God for the first time, I'm assuming, which is going to be amazing, obviously. Now, one thing I do want to draw attention to is that Broly does not go Super Saiyan during these first few fights. So yes, base Broly does clap up Goku and Vegeta all the way up to Super Saiyan God forms. I know that might be crazy to some people, but no, Broly does not go Super Saiyan to deal with these guys up until a certain point, and we'll get into that in a second. So now that we've gotten to Earth, we've gotten to Broly versus Vegeta and Goku, let's talk a little bit about the main meat and potatoes I know you guys want to hear about. But really quick before we continue, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below as we do a ton of anime related stuff on this channel, whether that be gaming, explanation videos, or even fan manga, which we've gotten into a lot recently. But back to the topic at hand. Even though base Broly, although he has gotten quite a power up, is completely dominating Super Saiyan God Goku and Vegeta, when Goku goes Super Saiyan Blue, he starts actually pushing Broly into a corner. But when he does, and this is kind of where we're going to start getting into the main spoilers here, but if you stuck around this long, then I'm sure you don't mind. But after Super Saiyan Blue Goku starts pushing, it's still pretty much base Broly into a corner. It's explained that Frieza has a flashback of when Goku first transformed into a Super Saiyan on Namek, and he recalls the trauma it took for him to gain such power, i.e. the death of Krillin right in front of his face. And I'm sure you know where I'm going with this at this point. Since Frieza's whole plan for Broly in the first place was to bring him to Earth in order to deal with Goku and Vegeta is kind of backfiring now that Super Saiyan Blue Goku is pushing him back, this causes Frieza to kill Paragus. Yes, Frieza kills Paragus right in front of Broly, and this is what inevitably pushes Broly past his limits to become a Super Saiyan. So at this point, Broly is just too much for Goku and Vegeta, pretty much no matter what they do. However, and this is a huge however, at some point during the fight, Piccolo contacts Goku telepathically, and there's this weird thing going on right now pertaining to this statement that Piccolo refused to give Goku and Vegeta sensu beans. I'm gonna go out on a limb, like I said, I'm gonna go out on a limb here, so don't hang me if this isn't right, and say that should, and keep in mind I haven't seen the movie just like you, so I'm gonna say should be a misconception, and maybe Piccolo just didn't have any sensu beans at the time, because there's no reason why he wouldn't give them one. But more likely what happened is that Piccolo realizes that even if Goku and Vegeta were at full power or were to get back to full strength, they still wouldn't be enough to defeat Broly. Now that may be a misconception on my part, but I feel like that's a bit more logical than him just not giving sensu beans to Goku and Vegeta. But let me know what you think about that down below. If you have any thoughts on that, that's just my 2 cents on it. Now when Piccolo contacts Goku, this is when things start to turn up a little bit. After the whole sensu bean debacle, he suggests fusion. Now I'm not sure how much Vegeta fought the idea of fusing with Goku again, because as we've seen many times before, unless they're literally seconds from being killed, Vegeta basically isn't going for it. Now Goku could theoretically just grab Vegeta and instant transmission away to Piccolo, whether he agrees or not, and I feel like that'd be a pretty funny comedic point in the movie. But in the midst of probably one of the best looking battles we'll ever see in anime, I feel like that'd be a pretty misplaced comedic point. And to be honest, it would also add more to the suspense from the action if Vegeta agrees to fuse while literally being seconds away from death, pretty much in the same way that we saw them fusion in Vegito for the first time. Speaking of comedic points, however, unfortunately for Frieza, he is the butt of a lot of jokes and comedic points in Dragon Ball. So after Goku and probably a reluctant Vegeta go to meet Piccolo to learn how to fuse, Frieza is left alone with Broly, who is pretty much going berserk at this point. But an important point to realize is that this is still regular Super Saiyan Broly, and I'm using berserk to describe his emotional demeanor at this point and not exactly his form. So obviously Broly just drags Frieza, who even in his golden form is of course nothing to Broly, and unbeknownst to Frieza, he's basically just buying time for Goku and Vegeta to learn the fusion technique. One weird little thing I should mention, because I know it's gonna get talked about in the comments a ton, is the Whis versus Broly stuff. Since I specifically have not seen the movie myself, I can't really give you guys an accurate timing on when Whis comes in to fight Broly. It's kind of weird because it looks like Gogeta will be the one to save Frieza. That's pretty much what's been stated up until this point, from getting finished off by Broly. But at some point during this time, Whis does show up and he gets attacked by Broly, who obviously can't even touch Whis, which I definitely feel is the right decision, because if he had even laid a finger on Whis, berserk or not, I feel like the whole community would be in an uproar. Now it's stated also that while Goku and Vegeta are attempting to learn the fusion technique, they fail a total of 3 times. So this means that we do see Veku in the movie, both the slim and the fat version. Then they perform another failed fusion, however this one is stated to be the closest to a success, until they do perform a successful fusion, and this is when Gogeta is finally born. Guys, I cannot wait. And at this point, he should still be in base form. Like I said previously, only base and Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta have been confirmed as of yet. So I'm not really too sure if we're ever going to see, you know, Super Gogeta become canon or anything like that. I don't know. I hope so, because I love everything Gogeta, but I digress. Now, when Gogeta gets back to the battlefield, like I said previously, he pretty much saves Frieza from being finished by Broly, and then he goes on to fight Broly himself. At this point, Gogeta is in his base form still and is fighting a Super Saiyan Broly pretty easily. This in turn pushes Broly to keep getting stronger like he has been throughout the whole movie. Now, like I just got finished saying, it's only been confirmed that we will see base Gogeta and Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta in the movie, but I feel like there is a high chance that we could see God Gogeta as well if they wanted to add a little bit of longevity to the fight, but like I said, none of that's confirmed as of yet. However, once Broly goes full power, which is the so-called, I guess, berserk version that we know so well, this is when Gogeta goes Super Saiyan Blue, and my boy Truth loves this interpretation so much. It's stated that Blue Gogeta victimizes a full power Broly, which is just so hilarious to me. But since Broly apparently gets washed so badly by Gogeta, it's hard to judge his power accurately. But once Gogeta Blue is about to finish off Broly with what I would assume is going to be a Big Bang Kamehameha, Chirei, and once again I'm sorry for butchering that voice, uses the Dragon Balls to save Broly, and she wishes him back to the planet that he grew up on. So spoiler alert, Broly doesn't die in this movie, and if you saw my last video, we actually discussed the possibility of Broly becoming a part of the main cast, which it does look like that door has now been swung wide open. After Broly's been transported away by the Dragon Balls, the two Frieza soldiers do eventually find him, and when they do, Goku also teleports to them by honing in on their energy. But of course, Goku being Goku, he doesn't look to finish off Broly, and instead brings them capsules from Bulma that contain food, but shelter as well. Again, going back to the possibility of seeing Broly more in the future, it's looking like it, and that's what I'm loving about this movie so far, is that it doesn't look like this is just going to be another one-off fight that we'll never see again. Now, will we ever see Gogeta Blue again is a different story, but I find it extremely hard to believe that Broly is just going to be done after this movie. Now, what are my thoughts on the movie just by having a synopsis and not seeing it yet? Well, first initial thoughts by me are that this is gonna feel like an actual movie and not just some guy coming to Earth that needs to be killed or he's gonna kill everybody. We've had plenty of that in Dragon Ball already. I don't need that anymore. I need actual plot now. On paper, I guess it would kind of look cliche if you sum it all up to, you know, the main boss or opponent again, because we can't really call Broly a villain. He's not evil. Being beaten so badly that he turns into a peaceful person, but then again, there's so many details and so much dialogue that we need to wait and see. But let me know what your thoughts are down below and how pumped you are for the movie. Yes, we will see Gogeta, but unfortunately, Ultra Instinct, Kaioken, and Blue Evolution will all be absent from the movie, which I'm not too upset about, although the only one that I really think needed to be left out was Ultra Instinct. I know a lot of you are probably not gonna like that down below, but we can talk about it. But that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you for watching to the end. If you did, have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.